Hello, my name is Debbie Covington. I am a chef, caterer, cookbook author, and food columnist. Welcome to my kitchen on Ladies Island, South Carolina. Today I would like to show you 3 really great Thanksgiving recipes. Perfect for a potluck, perfect for your own Thanksgiving dinner, and also really good if you're just staying at home with family. So let me tell you a little bit about each one. I have a Praline pumpkin Imperial, which is a great side dish, and it's a big dish, and I'm going to be able to show you how to make it smaller. We can half the recipe. I have a really good Thanksgiving salad that has packed with protein. You have meat, cheese, vegetables, nuts, even carbs, and a little bit of berries. And we have a really great Thanksgiving martini. It's an Appletini. I hope you'll enjoy it. Thank you. So let's get started with my first recipe, which is a Praline pumpkin Imperial. This is a great recipe because it's really easy, and it actually turns into kind of a custard. It's great for potlucks. It's great for Halloween. It's great year-round if you like pumpkin, but it's perfect to take for a Thanksgiving party or to have for your own family. And it's even easier because it uses a cake mix. So you're not having to measure a bunch of things. So let me just show you how simple this is. First of all, you can take a Pyrex dish. 9 by 13 is good, but if you have a little bit bigger one, you might want to do that. This is a 10.5 by 14 3/4. And it just works a little better because the recipe will fill a 9 by 13 to the very top. And if you're carrying it to the oven and you're a little jiggly, you could make a mess. So I even recommend, if you do that, to bake it on a baking sheet. So the first thing we want to do is very lightly spray the pan with baking spray. Very simple. And the ingredients are also very simple. It's 2 cans of pumpkin. This is pumpkin, like just pumpkin, not the canned pumpkin that you can just dump into a pie crust. So make sure when you're reading labels that you see it's not the pumpkin pie mix, it's just straight pumpkin. Pumpkin's also good for your digestion, so this is a good thing to have for dessert after you've eaten a humongous meal. So you can use 1 large can of pumpkin or 2 15-ounce cans of pumpkin. Got to get every little bit out of the can. Okay, I think that's it. And then to that, I'm going to add 2 cans, which is 3 cups of evaporated milk. Not sweetened condensed milk, just plain old evaporated milk. And usually you can find that in the breakfast aisle of your grocery store. To that, we're going to add 1.5 cups of just white sugar and 4 large eggs. See if I can do this without getting these shells in the mix. So you can see it's getting to be a bowl's worth, so it's really going to fill up that pan. And then when it bakes, it puffs up just a little bit, but then it kind of goes back down. It's great served with whipped cream or maybe even a little ice cream. Okay, to this we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, ground cloves, pumpkin pie spice, and salt. And that is pretty much your custard mix. So we need to mix this all together. I recommend doing it with a fork or a whisk. If you do it with an electric mixer, it's going to fly all over the place because this is kind of a wet mixture. So it's going to take a little bit to make sure those eggs are cracked and beaten in. So we want to make sure everything is well combined. Okay. fingers a bit. Okay, so this is ready to go into the prepared pan. Pour it gently because it will splash. And I want to scrape every little bit that I can into the dish. Now for the good part. So what we're going to take is just a yellow cake mix, store-bought, and I'm going to sprinkle this evenly over the top. You want to be gentle because you want it to stay on the top and not actually sink to the bottom, because this is going to help form the crust. Seems like a lot, but when it cooks, it's so good. Okay, so use your fingers because you want it to go all the way to the edges. Pull it off. Okay, next thing, 2 cups of chopped pecans. So we're just going to sprinkle these over the top. You can use chopped walnuts if you'd like, but I prefer pecans. Okay, and after that, I've melted 2 sticks of salted butter, and I'm just going to drizzle that evenly as I can over the top. So this whole thing will go into a preheated 325-degree oven for 75 to 85 minutes. So it's going to take a little time. This seems like a big dish. So if you don't need, this will feed maybe 15 people. If you don't need to feed that many people, this recipe can be cut in half. Let me show you how. All you have to do is when you pull your cake mix out, just measure it. Just push it out down to the bottom and kind of squish it like this and pour half of it out and save the other half. Everything else is very easy. You can use 1 can of milk, 1 can of pumpkin, 2 eggs. Cut your spices down to 1/4 of a teaspoon and use 1 stick of butter and 1 cup of nuts. And so when you do this, we're going to put it into a 325-degree oven. And through the magic of TV, I already have 1 small one made with the half of a cake mix. And here it is. It's delicious and beautiful. It's great out of the oven. Kind of better though if you let it set for maybe 30 minutes before you cut it to kind of let the custard firm up. And also it's good cold straight out of the refrigerator. This can even very easily be cut into 6 or 9 pieces. So I have a really great salad recipe for you. I love salads. It's kind of my go-to thing. And the best salads, I think, have protein and greens, a little bit of something sweet, something a little salty. So this salad actually has a combination of all those things. But before we assemble the salad, I want to show you the easiest salad dressing in the world. It's great. If you have a mason jar, that'll work. Just any kind of glass jar or plastic jar with a lid, use that instead of using your blender and making a bunch of mess in your kitchen. I'm all about keeping things clean. So this recipe has a 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar. You can use white wine vinegar, you can use balsamic vinegar, you can use flavored vinegars of any type. Actually, for this dressing, blueberry balsamic would have been really cool. But today we're going to try this one instead. It's red wine vinegar, about a quarter cup. Just going to eyeball it. To that, going to add a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, a little bit of honey, maybe a tablespoon. You want just a little bit of sweet. Using honey works better than sugar because it dissolves so much quicker. And this is local honey. So if you can use local honey, it's supposed to be really good for your allergies. I suggest doing that, and also supporting your farmers and their beehives if you have beehives in your area. To that, I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, which is about a 50% ratio to the amount of red wine vinegar that we used. I just prefer a little less oil in my salad dressings. You just need enough to make it stick to your greens. So just a little bit of freshly ground black pepper and a little bit of ground sea salt. Tightly fitting lid, and give it a good shake. And there's your salad dressing. So to assemble the salad, this is so easy. What we're going to do is a combination of 2 of my favorite greens. I love kale and arugula, especially this time of year. So I have kale from a local farm. Just going to spread a little bit on a plate or platter. This would be really good also to take to a potluck, and the presentation is beautiful. So if you want to do it like you could just do it and put it like in a bowl and just put everything together. But if you want to do it like I'm doing it, it's just a really nice presentation. So this part just kind of do to your taste. If you like kale more than you like arugula, use more kale. If you like arugula more than you like kale, use more arugula. Or any other type of salad green. Just the kale is just very hearty and will hold up to a lot of different toppings. And the arugula is kind of peppery, so that's really nice for this time of year. Okay, to this, we're going to start just making rows. So the first thing we want to do is our major protein. And what I've done is microwave some bacon. The microwavable bacon that you can buy that's already cooked, that's great stuff. It doesn't stink up your kitchen, it only takes a minute, and it says like 45 calories a slice. And this is for a salad, so it's going to be mixed up in everything. You could even use bacon bits, I think, like the real bacon bits. But I've cooked about 10 slices of microwave bacon, and then just use some kitchen shears to cut them into bite-sized pieces. So we've got our protein here, and another protein, which is blue cheese. This is Clemson blue cheese from South Carolina. Put that right beside it. And beside that, we're going to use some fresh blueberries. These are Whoppers. I was really lucky to find these. If you can't find blueberries, raspberries would work, blackberries would work, any type of berry. It's not really strawberry season, but any berry like this would be great. And then we're going to have some fresh grape tomatoes. So I've just quartered them. These were so pretty, it was just impossible not to use them. I mean, when you go to the grocery store, just pick and look and see what looks fresh. I mean, if the tomatoes are an ugly color, don't get them. Use kind of, your favorite things. If you don't like tomatoes, then you could use a bell pepper. You could actually use mushrooms. I mean, anything you want. Our next ingredient is just cranberries. These are dried cranberries, craisins. They will give this a little bit of a punch and kind of a little chewy taste, which is nice because you've got a little bit of sweet from the blueberries and you'll have a little bit of sweet from the dressing. Put them all on there. And to that, we will actually add some chopped walnuts. Oops. cubes. And you can use as many or as few as you like. Pecans would work, almonds would work. If you can find sweet nuts that you prefer, like cashews, anything like that would be great. And my last thing, I had some leftover English muffins, blueberry ones. So I cut them into croutons, sprayed them with a little bit of butter-flavored cooking spray, cooked them in the oven for 10 minutes at 350, just long enough to get them crispy. And we'll add that for a little bit, a few carbs. I mean, it's a salad, but see how beautiful this is? And all you have to do, if you're taking it to a potluck, is cover it with saran wrap, take your little salad dressing, and carry it out the door with you. So right before you eat, just drizzle it with your dressing, and this would feed probably 4 to 6 people. Hope you enjoy it. I have a really fun martini recipe I'd like to share with you. It's called an Appletini, not an Appletini. You can make it a green Appletini or you can make a red Appletini. We're going for the red Appletini today. If you want to make a green one, you just leave all the red stuff out. So the first thing I want to do to make it festive is to rim my martini glasses. I have a bowl, a very shallow bowl with a little tiny bit of water. I'm just going to dip the edges of the glass in the water, shake off any excess, and then I have some really cool gold shimmer sugar that you can buy. I mean, you can buy it on Amazon, but you can also buy it locally if you have a bake shop. It's edible and it's already colored for you. They have gold, silver, black, all different colors. So we're just going to rim the outside edges of the martini glass with a little sugar. And set them over here to dry a bit. Do 2. You can use your leftover sugar if you want. Just kind of let it sit on the counter for a bit and then put it in a Ziploc baggie, and don't put it back in the jar, but you can reuse anything that's left instead of having to throw it away. This stuff can be a little expensive. So there are my rimmed martini glasses. Scoot this out of the way a bit and get down to the nitty-gritty of the cocktail. So I have a martini shaker full of ice. To that, I'm going to add a shot of vodka, and a shot of sour apple pucker. You know, the actual recipes call for, I guess maybe a 1/4 cup of each of these, but who's going to measure with the measuring spoon and a 1/4 cup at the bar? So just use a shot glass. It looks cooler too. So we have this, and so at this point you can see this is kind of green. So you can just shake these two together over the ice and make a green apple martini, green Appletini. But since we're going for the red Appletini, we're going to add a little red color. And this is grenadine, which is basically red syrup, and you can buy it in the grocery store or liquor store. We're going to put about a 1/2 shot of grenadine. This will give it a nice red color. And just for a little more color and to cut a little bit of the alcohol. You don't have to do this, I just like to. This is cranberry juice. Cran apple juice would also work, or you can leave it out altogether, but this just gives a little more color, and like I said, it cuts the alcohol just a touch. So we've got not quite a shot of cranberry juice. So put this on tightly, give it a good shake. And this should be enough for 1 martini. So here we go. See how red and pretty it is? And for a garnish, just going to cut an apple straight through, very thinly, and float it in the glass. Isn't that beautiful? Cheers! I hope you enjoyed my very first episode of Celebrate with Debbie Covington. And if you like these recipes, please come back again. We'll be taping more, hopefully soon. I would like to thank my photographer and camerawoman, Susan Deloach of Susan Deloach Photography, for helping me make this a reality today. And also, if you're interested in more recipes, please check them out on my website, www.cateringbydebbiecovington.com. I also have 3 cookbooks available for sale. Celebrate Beaufort and Celebrate Everything are available on my website and also through Amazon. Dining Under the Carolina Moon is out of print, but if you're really lucky, you can find it in used bookstores and used on Amazon. It's a really nice little cookbook. Hope to see you again soon. Thanks for coming. Bye.